part 2. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulty. The camera froze up. Not sure what happened there, but let me see if I can get it in the second one, just to, in case it does free up. Looks like it's frozen. All right. Well, back to what we're doing. Is ended up cutting a thin notch here. Going to use a triangular file, which right here. I'm going to use the kind of keep it flat, flush to my cut towards the top, towards the head. So that way it's just cutting on an angle, which will give us the mushroom. Do it kind of from the bottom or even the side, just so I can see what's going on. Make sure I'm not cutting too deep. Make sure everything's looking good. I think I was getting ready to do this before. It froze on me. The camera stuff froze on me also, but it wasn't. It was working in my main computer program. It wasn't working on the Restream. So if that's what's going on, I do apologize. All right, let's see here. Let's see if I can add you guys or add somebody. Invite. Copy. All right. And I'll resend that just in case somebody wants to jump in. All right. So I'm running a triangular file on it right now, watching the shape it's making. It's looking good. Like I said, flat edge towards the top. So I'm not cutting into the what will be the bottom of the drive pin. But as quick and as simple as that, you got a mushroom pin. I can elongate it or whatnot, just changing my angle, grab a little longer file, make it a little deeper. I think I actually like the length of that one. I'm going to start cutting it a little bit. So, get the cut going. Get it about halfway. Good enough. Kick the speed up. And we'll hit it with 2000 grit. Get her all polished up. Zoe, I don't know if it's a weak internet. I don't know if it's the Restream giving me guff. So I don't know, unfortunately. My other camera is still frozen, but my one in the laptop itself, it's in onboard camera working, so I just switched to that. But both external cameras, just everything froze. I don't know. I wish I did have an answer for that, 'cause that is definitely annoying. That, and I'd like to show you the microscope view of this thing as well. That is also both froze and locked up. I don't know if the program's not liking it. I don't know, unfortunately. Just cleaning the top off, cleaning the edge. Sharp edge is done. Oh, you can't see everything now. Let me see if I can angle this a little bit better so you can see what's going on. All right. So I've now cut the mushroom. Maybe I should turn that light down a little bit too. Cut the mushroom. I got to take the nub off from actually the saw. I'm separating it from the main brass rod. It's gone. Simple as that. We now have a second pin. Let's see if I can trick the system to zoom it in for you. But yeah. So now we have a mushroom. All right. Put that into the to be used later. If you're familiar with the trampoline pins, it is basically the mushroom done on both sides. So let's do a serrated pin. We'll keep it standard for the moment here. So serrated pins, real simple. You get your spot, line up your saw, get your score, and then just run with it like you're going to cut it off, but just don't go nearly as deep. Space whatever you want. If you want them evenly spaced, if you want to make them goofy, do whatever. Have a serration on each end or any of that fun stuff. Just run with it. If you want to do two serrations and then kind of a small dumbbell type spool, I'm going to do that in this one. So my third slot, which I just cut, is for it'll be 3 serrated, third mark on a serrated pin. I'm going to turn the saw sideways though. I'm going to my third one, and I'm actually going to walk the saw sideways. And it'll just start cutting the wall. It'll stay at the depth that I already pre-cut it to. But now it's going to make that just a deeper spool in a sense. It's just a recessed flat spot. I'm actually going to go in and make it a little deeper. It's not as deep as I want it. And then slowly saw that extra fat off it, we'll say. And then with that, you have, come on, zoom in, or focus, a serrated pin with a small spool on the bottom. So it's at the length that I'd want it. So I'm going to polish it again. I said turn her up to 2. Get her going. What is this down here? All right, nothing. All right, just checking. Being I haven't used this, I don't know what it's going to show if somebody decided to jump in, so I'm just trying to keep an eye on that as well. So, I put a link there if anybody wants to jump in, if you want to ask questions. It's easier for me to talk to you than looking up here. Where do you get your stock? Amazon, actually. I just look up 3mm brass rod And I think I have to do the calculation on exactly. It tells you in millimeters, but it equates to 4 inches is the ones that I buy. You can buy them different lengths or whatever, but 4 inches, I can put it in here, cut it in half easily enough, and then work with it. So that, and you don't end up accidentally with something like this that you actually got to try to hacksaw through. And when you're doing your cut and you're worried about getting too close to the pin, you want to leave a flat spot or whatever, you can start away from your end piece of your pin. And like how I was just talking about how you walk and make that little spool with the saw, you can walk toward your driver pin and then start cutting down into it again. That way you can mess with your own length without worrying that you're ruining your pin that you spend all that time making and whatnot. And as it starts getting thin, I don't know if you can hear it because the sound suppression probably isn't letting you do it. The tone will change as you're sawing. And that's my indication that I'm getting to the end where it's ready to drop. Done. So once again, we'll have a nub to cut off, or file down, sorry, not cut off. Nub's off. Pin shape is made. And another pin is created. So it's really no wrong pin. You play with it how you want. Just if you've got your cylinder out and you've got the key pins in there, you can drop it in and see how much is sticking out. Obviously, it has to stick past the core. Otherwise, the spring's going to be right there at the shear line, and somebody just turning as they're picking it, it's just going to smash your pin or your spring. So whatever you do, make sure your drivers are sticking at least a little bit above the shear line after, with your key pins installed. All right, so let's try to do a little bullet one. Now, the little bullet shaped ones that I've been doing them so they got a little bit, somewhat of a point to them. So if you're doing, let's say somebody's picking it and it's a deep spool, when they're bringing the spool back with that thing tapered, it'll try to fall back into the core, which will lock it up again. So just enough to be annoying, just to make somebody bounce back and forth. Try different angles, whatever works. I still kind of rest my finger against the pin or the Dremel that's spinning on me, and then use that as my guide. Like I said, no lathe here, so I'm gonna utilize what I have, and I feel like I've got a ton of control with it like this anyway, so I do like it. All right. So I can actually make that one a little pointed. And then the cylinder I'm working on actually has a couple deep cuts. So not much of my pin's going to stick through anyway. So I can do a couple of serrations on this just so you get a feel of something. I'm still going to keep it short because most of the pin's going to be wasted at this point. So 2 serrations. The third one I'm doing my cut through on. All right, majority of the way through. Kick her up a notch. Same procedure, you know. I like them nice and polished. I feel like they move smoother, so we'll just hit it till I get a nice shine out of her. And even though I put just regular serrations in it, you can still hit it with a different file of some sort and change the shape of the serrations. You know, make them to where they kind of point into each other if you wanted to, or whatnot. Maybe I'll do that on this one just for giggles. I'll hit it with the polish one more time, but I'm getting the flat spot, hitting the top part of the serration that I cut. So the angle is going towards the bottom, which is actually where the other serration is. So I'll flip it over, do the same thing again on the bottom, the bottom serrated cut. And now I'm making that center one more of a point. It's going towards each other. Don't know how well it'll come from the camera, but I'll show you in 2 seconds. Hit it one more time just to smooth it a little bit. Get in the grooves. All right. Cut her real quick and see what we got. What? 2,000. Yep. Clean the top off. All right. I gotta clean the nub off this guy. Okay. And then I'll all right, nub's gone. And we'll try this again. So, unfortunately, like I said, my other cameras aren't working, so I can't show you how these 2 serrations are coming to a point. But I'll post them later, though. You'll see me there on the Facebook or Reddit or Discord. All right. Yeah. Magic, nice. Let's do a dumbbell. Let's do a dumbbell spool. All right. So I've used all my excess, so now I'm actually working on some of the pieces inside. I think there's, like I said, there's still the majority of the rod that's recessed in there. So just putting out like a, I don't know, quarter of an, or maybe a third of an inch there roughly. All right, so we start it the same as I did the mushroom. Cut my notch in. It's not as far out as I want it, so let's work it out just a little more. Changing the saw so I can thin the top of this just a little bit. Okay, so we've got a good piece to start with there. Get a little more depth out of it. I'm probably halfway through. with it right now. All right. I'm going to do the triangular one again. I'm going to treat it like this I did with the mushroom, with the flat side to the top. But as it starts going down, I'm going to slowly rotate the file and apply pressure more toward the inside to help, to quit cutting the head of it thinner and just start working on the body. But we will get it started with the spool or the mushroom style. All right. Gets there and start flattening it out more. So right now it's mushroom-ish. But like I said, I'm going to change the pressure, start putting more pressure to the base of the mushroom, which will dig in there and try to relieve the pressure away from the top, so that doesn't, keep digging more, more depth in that. So you don't want to make it too thin, or have a thin spot even, I should say. All right. So just as quick as that was, not done, because I want to make it thinner, but you've got your shape. You're getting more of a dumbbell spool shape going. And once I can see that it looks like it's even, I will just do more of an even pressure across and just level it all out. Level it out, clean it up. And that's a good looking dumbbell going. All right. So I've got my desired depth. I am going to go again and make my cut so I can get ready to separate it. Got my score started. So I'm going to help the saw. See if it looks nearly as thick as there to here. If it's not, like I said, you can change the saw to thin it a little more. I think that's what I'll do. I'll thin it just a hair more. Close. And about my angle I want. Good enough. All right. So before I cut it off, get her to 2. Give her a polish. Yeah. This little square of sandpaper, I couldn't even tell you how long I've been using it. The same piece. No reason to waste it. Well, it still works. So, which I think is finally starting to separate from the sandpaper part of it separating from its backing. But all right, back down to 1. Just cut this. Tone changes. Knew it was coming. I don't know if you guys can hear the Dremel. I don't know. It says the sound suppression thing is taking that sound away. What number are you up to in the while? I have 2 being tested right now, so they're not sent out. I have number 21 and 22 that G Keyman and Broken have. I'll get those two back from them shortly, and 21 is going to Labs, and then I got to go look at the list and see who's 22 is going to. As long as those guys say they turned out all right, that is, anyway. All right. So here is our dumbbell. Howdy, howdy. All right. So another one to the list. And for those of you who haven't necessarily seen the inside of some of mine, this is a dummy one that I test stuff on. So I've got cuts in it to try out, threaded, a little overboring, all that kind of stuff. But this pin right here that we just made is a perfect example of what these cuts up top are for. So they get caught up in the grooves that I cut and go into a deep false set. You know, they can only go so high because of the cylinder, so it'd be more of, let's see, the cylinder's going to sit it right there. So that's about as deep as that, or as far as that thing could roll, without me cutting this. Without me cutting the core deeper. So, which is plenty. I mean, when you're, I don't know, I mean, it's not a quarter of the way, but probably eighth of a turn or so into a deep false set. You pretty much almost got to float pick it to bring it back and save it. So, well, all right. Let me re-put this thing up here in case anybody wants to jump in. I can use the chat. Somebody's feels like talking. All right, so maybe we will do. So we done a mushroom, a graduated spool, serration with a bit of a spool on it, serration with kind of a bullet tip, and then a dumbbell. Maybe let's do a version of a trampoline. Let's see what happens there. You know, just get creative with it. Actually, you know what? With the season right now, we could probably do a Christmas tree. Let's see. I don't see where. Nobody's in waiting. Nobody's there. All right. All right. Let's do a holiday Christmas tree here. Not a black belt tree. We're going festive. All right. So I am going to basically slope this. Actually, I will do the same thing I did earlier. I'll start it as a mushroom because I can always cut the head off it, and it gives me a good base to work with. So we'll do a mushroom. At the end, we'll just cut the top off it. So no star on this tree. All right. So same thing, flat part towards the flat on the top. Get our angle going. If I think of it, I will. What? No snowman. Man, you're gonna make me try to do a snowman, aren't you? I could probably almost do that with this right here. He's just gonna have a small head on him. All right, we're gonna try a snowman. You said it, so let me get the smaller one on here. I don't know if I can do the snowman or not, but we're going to find out. It may not be perfectly round. If it works, it's probably going to go in somebody's lock, though, just so you know. So you may have cursed yourself, just so you're aware. Always that possibility. That's more roundy. And then this angle we did underneath, I'm going to have to cut him in a little more. Let's see what we get here. All right, get some depth in there. I'm going to do the flat side to the bottom. Let's see if I can kind of round-ish the middle ball now, or the middle of his body. I'm not gonna lie, it's not horrible. All right, so it might be a little long to be usable, but who knows? Let's see. All right. You know, remember, I haven't made this, so this, if it doesn't turn out, it was worth a shot. All right. All right, put a polish on him. Chuck, what's up? All right. You know what? I'm not even gonna show it to you until I cut it off. You want your snowman. You're gonna see him at the end. A little bit of the sandpaper disintegrated towards the top, so it actually got stuck on his head. Man, it's kind of tree-ish looking. Let me see if I can round him a little better. All right. A little more polish. For sanding, anyway. All right. So that's off. Take the nub off the bottom. Let's see if I can hold this in a way that you can actually see it. All right. It's not perfect, but it's kind of a snowman anyway. Snow tree. Yeah. All right, so making the little Christmas tree one I did is pretty much along the same line as that, except for I'm not cutting from the bottom back up. I'm just doing a angle cut all the way, putting a few serrations in there, cut the top piece off, and then you can keep the if you want a little bit of the trunk on there, kind of dumbbell spool the bottom a little bit, and then lob her off. We can try see if we can do that real quick too. Make a festive one. Actually, might be a little bit easier with a guideline on there. Okay. Give me something to rest against so it's not trying to run on me. This file's a little big for how much I have out, so we'll start with the smaller one. And being that it's such a short pin, I can get away with just giving a little nudge. Nothing crazy, get a little more speed out of her. But if you're going too fast, it won't center up, and it's just, your shape's going to be all womped out. Yeah. I'm not even sure what. I think it's supposed to be 20s. I don't even know right now. I don't have the weather thing on my computer either. All right, I'm bring this one out just a little longer. Yeah, that's the tough part about doing these right now is it's not warm in the garage. I went and picked up a little heater. One of those goes on top of the propane tank, just to be able to tolerate it. I picked that up on my way home today, actually. All right. So, got the initial shape of my tree. I'm gonna cut the top off, and then I'll do some few serrations in there. And I'll get rid of the point, and then we'll make the trunk on it. So, off with the tip. And if you guys weren't here, whoever wasn't here for that, I use this when I'm cutting it off. One, it steadies the tool. Two, it gives it somewhere for the pin to drop. I've just got a piece of tape here. Sorry. My other camera quit working, so I forgot you can't see all this stuff. But that way it gets caught. So we'll just do some light scores into what's left of the pin, the tree. Got to do it slowly because with it being on an angle now, it wants to walk. And I may have made them a little close this time. Start putting these things in resin. Let's let one of you guys turn them into jewelry. All right. So the tree shape is all basically there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 serrations into it to make the layers of as a tree. I did cut at the base. I'm going to kick it sideways now and kind of walk it to make the trunk. Get it a little deeper. And then we'll start. Turn the saw sideways, walk down toward desired length anyway. And thickness, of course. And with that said, that's basically our tree. Now, if I didn't want to put it into a lock, I cut the flat spot off so it stands up on its own. But it's so close to being nearly too long, I will probably walk it down just a pinch further and then just cut that base off. So I have a little trunk, but can function. And actually, with that trunk narrow, you can actually have it slide into a spring. Earrings, yep. All right, so let's get this one off. Actually, I can't get it off yet. One more step. I keep wanting to skip it. Skip the polishing. And I don't know how this thing would pick. I mean, it might be kind of neat. It might just be rubbish. I just don't know. I've made 3 of them so far. I haven't put them in it. Well, this will be the 3rd one. I haven't put them in anything yet. So. Top. Take the knob off the bottom from the cut. Okay. And try to grab a hold of it. See if that's going to work. Wow. That's probably going to pop off here in a second fly, but there is our Christmas tree. Unfortunately, camera's not letting us get the most details. Oh, let's see here. Yeah. They're not bad. You just got to work on them. No. Challenge locks are fun. Fun to make and fun to pick. I am currently without any to pick. All mine are out, and any that have been sent to me, I have kind of passed them on for the moment. So, let's see here. Oh, in case anybody's wondering, I don't know if everybody follows my channel or any of that fun stuff yet. I do have a giveaway going on. It's a little challenge giveaway. You have to look it up in my videos. It's bobby pin for the win. And basically, I'm giving away all the stuff to make, to get you started in doing this. I mean, the same saw, same files. Not the Milwaukee, but you will have a rotary tool in there as well. Actually, all kinds of goodies. I got pictures posted. Oh, yeah. And a Sparrows Monstrum XXL as well. So it's their biggest set. They have the picks. So you get picks, you get the toolbox, you get some 3mm pins. So you get your slag style pins, saw, files. Let's see what else. I got it right here. It's all just piled on top, though. So it's the green box. Rotary tool. Oh, tap set with drill bits. Some deburring diamond bits for the rotary tool. 3mm rods. Rub screws. The jeweler saw, which you're seeing me use there. Speaking of which, I bought that thing when I started doing these challenge locks. I'm still on the first blade. This thing comes with tons of blades. I am still on the first blade. The files that I'm using. And 2000 grit sandpaper. So, if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you haven't entered the challenge, please do. It's, I don't know, $150, $200 worth of stuff given away. And I have 7 entries. And it's been out there for, I don't know, 10, 15 days. How long are you running? I'm thinking I am off the week from Christmas to New Year's. So I'm thinking Christmas the 25th. I will probably run it to the 27th. So I can hopefully get it in the mail while I'm off. And get her mailed out. I don't know if it's going to be UPS or Postal Service yet. I got some of those. If it fits boxes, but I keep adding stuff to it. It's not going to fit in one of those boxes. So, and it was actually the Lockjaw pack leader patch challenge that got me to use the bobby pin. I used it before just for handcuffs, and then I needed the 9 ways to get these locks, and that one just happened to be kind of a no-brainer. I didn't really think about it. I probably should have done a paper clip as well. I was sitting there trying to figure out what to use as an entry tool, but you think that the initial thing's not bad, but when you got to figure out 9 ways without repeating one, it's a different story. So I think the giveaway is trying to move on its own now. All right. Let's do... I'm going to do a variation of a trampoline for you. Let's see. I did this one the other day, and it kind of turned more of a round ball in the center of it. It was kind of neat. Once again, I haven't put it in anything yet, so I don't know how it picks. But I imagine it can't be horrible. While I'm on here with you guys, I'm trying to think of different ways to, or different pins to show you. But when I'm doing this, I'm out here by myself, usually on Discord, chatting with G Keyman or Labs or somebody, and not necessarily completely paying attention to what I'm doing. I just do it and see what happens. Just kind of letting it make itself, basically. Just not giving it too much thought. You will see a lot of spools and whatnot that I make and I put in my locks, and it's not because I'm trying to make them super hard with them or whatever, but I just really love the spools. Not just making them, but picking them. It's so much fun with those deep false sets. Just are fun. So if you do 2 mushrooms, on both sides. I think like lagging a little bit here. You do 2 mushrooms, one at the top, and you flip it over, do the other one. You end up basically making a trampoline. So if I cut that off right now, that's a trampoline. Spools are great. Absolutely. And the thing that really got me into spools were the 1100s. There's American 1100s. I'll use the thin, I think it's like 0.015 monkey paw deep hook. A lot of times I'll start in the back and work my way forward and just kind of light on the tension, but you'll get into that false set when things are starting to work right. And then you hit those spools, and it's just so much counter rotation back and forth with those spools. That's really, I think, why I like the Lottos so much too. They're basically 1100 with a dead core, but you can just ride the wave on those things. All right, let's see. Now, a lot of times I'm doing. Oh, you can't see it because my angle. I did change the angle on you. Sorry. A lot of the times you'll see me with the saw coming from the bottom up. It's because of the direction I have of the teeth and the rotation of the saw or the rotary tool. It's more effective this direction, so I can cut more ground, make more ground this way. But before I get too far, once again, we will polish. I think Mick said he was going to do a live today. I don't know when he's doing it, but if I'm in the house at that point, I will try to jump in on that one. He's gonna pick number 10. I think that's the one he's got right now. He's got my CL10. My CL10. If you see something you don't like, you can always tap it with the sawtooth. A little more depth out of this right here. Done. All right, let's cut this guy off. Cut it off and we'll show and tell. All right. Little sparrow tweezers going. All right. Make sure I don't drop it. So this is the one we just did. Get the angle right. It's basically a trampoline. So all right. And I'll post them later too. You can see a better, more detailed picture of them. But I would say for somebody first starting out, try to mess with the spools. It's probably the easiest thing to make. Do your little cut line, and like you said, use the triangular file just to keep it from walking. But yeah, Mario Bros. Triple, absolutely. So don't say Mario Bros. too loud. We might get some kind of copyright thing. I'm still. Nobody said nothing about my emblem yet, so that's good. All right, so let's do. You know what? Let's go a little more advanced. Okay. I'm going to try or show you. I bought 3mm tubing. So it's hollow. It's brass still. It's hardened brass. That part's the pain in the butt. But I'm going to get this shaft down small enough that I can fit it inside there, and we'll do a little pin on pin. All right. Actually, I got a little wider file. I'm just I've got pretty much most of what I want to turn into the shaft out, so I can darn near rest my file almost right against the head here. So I just got my finger there to try to guide it a little bit. Actually, let's try this. I haven't made very many of these, so I'm still working on perfecting ways to do it. Let me try like the reverse mushroom, get a notch in there, let the file sit in that, and then as I get a little depth in there, I'll start rotating it. And with this, I mean, if you make it too long, the shaft too long, you just cut a little off. It's not the end of the world. Brass is cheap. Brass is cheap. Being as small as this is, I can turn up the speed a little bit. I do wish I knew what happened to my cameras, though. I don't know why they quit on it for that first feed. I wouldn't mind an overview showing you some of this stuff. Instead, you're watching me doing a little tiny stitching here. It looks like playing a miniature violin or whatever. Well, I don't know how you do it. I thought about that too. The double-sided, you're going to run into the spring getting all boogery around it, unless you somehow do a master wafer up there, you know. But I mean, it's possible. You just got to figure out the way to do it. You could probably get away with that, and then put a sleeve, you know, the tube on both ends, and that tube would be wide enough to keep the spring in check. I don't think I've got this thin enough yet, but okay, I got it where I can get it over the tip a little bit. So I need to take some of the fat down here off. Turn it up just a hair. Not yet, not just yet, almost. It's just getting over, so a little more fine tuning, and we should be on. All right, so we've made it thin enough to slide on. Let's polish it, get it nice and smooth. It's gritty right now, so. And at this point, you can just put a sleeve over it and cut it. You can put serrations in it, cut it. You can pin from the, your T-pin from the top or bottom, either way. Or we can cut little rings and turn it into a rattlesnake. That one, I know there's different ways. Some people solder the end, do things like that. I don't solder. I've done leather work and whatnot, so I'm used to using like a ball peen hammer and using the brass rivets and then mushrooming it out. It's not easy as thin as that rod is, but it does work. So maybe we'll put 2 or 3 rings on it. Things popped out again. Yeah, polished. It just fits over it like butter now. Okay. So that 2-inch rod that we started with, we're down to the last 1/2 inch of it anyway. All right, so this is a slower cut just because it's hardened. I'm also going to inside lip of it just a little bit. That way it can float around on there a little better. As well as the outer edge. Just a little bit. All right. So same blade again, all that fun stuff. Yeah. And rattlesnakes are super thin. Well, pretty thin anyway. So with the hardened brass, it actually takes probably 2 to 3 times longer to cut through this hollow tube than it does cutting through that solid piece of brass there. This thing wants to walk on me. I'm going to try it at a little higher speed, see what happens on this thing. That might be the key to this hardened tube anyway. We're getting there anyway. All right. A little slower, a little more controlled here. Jump out of my groove. There we go. Now, the hollow tube thing, I don't know if somebody makes a less hardened version. It'd be a lot easier to cut apart, but we're right at the end right now. Making different noise. And all right. I won't make you guys go through all those, but I'm going to give you the idea anyway. And I'll do 2 or 3 of these guys, and just gonna runner. Wow. I don't usually use the tweezers. I brought those out recently just to try to help things out, but All right, so from the cutting, the hole is closed up just a little bit, so we'll fix that with the cylinder file. There we go. Yeah, still needs a little more sanding on it, but nonetheless, you get the gist of it. I'll work it a little bit more. I'll get it down. Put 3 on here. Yeah, I think it's a little work. Put 3 on here, and then I'll ball peen hammer the top, round it out. But hopefully that helps a little bit. It's get you some ideas, show you the basic of what I'm doing to make these anyway, and we'll do it again. Let's see what we got on here though. Tomorrow video, okay. What if you cut a piece of rod, put in to make it candy cane. Oh, you can try any of the stuff. Let's see. My eyes are definitely not good enough to make pins that small. Yeah. Well, these little readers I got are just 1.25. Anything else, I'm going to have a headache, but they are a must, though. They are unfortunately a must. Also, when I do these, like the rattlesnake ones, the hollow tubes, I will press with my nail, holding the half of that round piece down, and use the file just to hit the one half of it, rotate it around, get the other half just to get everything smooth in between, flip it over, do the same thing just to get any weird burrs, anything left on there from the from cutting it. If you ever cut tube with a pipe cutter, you've seen where that part of the tube is actually compressed in a little bit from the force. So same concept, same thing. So but I mean for Lenny, so he can see. Yeah. Yep. All right. What time? I don't even know what time it is. 8:30. All right. All right. I'll let you guys get to it. I appreciate you watching. I wish I could have done this in one take, but like I said, I had technical difficulty. Till next time. And if you have requests, something you want to see done, or how to do, or at least how I do it, may not be the right way, but I think my stuff's been working so far. And for any of you that may be getting a future challenge lock of mine, I manually cut this nasty little bugger the other day. So I wish you luck. And thanks for watching. If you would, please like, share, tell people about the giveaway, please. I mean, it's a lot of good stuff, and there's just not very many people who've entered. So right now it's 1 to 7 people that's getting that. There's still time, but a lot of cool stuff. So alrighty, thank you guys, and I will see you in the future.